We're number one! America first! Let's go! Let's go! No, actually, we're number 64. 64. The World Press Freedom Index just released and graded the United States as 64th in the world for freedom, the lowest our country has ever ranked. I should also remind you that we've been downgraded from a full democracy to a flawed democracy on the Global State Democracy Report, falling to 28th in the world as of 2026. So all of our peer nations are more free and more democratic than us. And to be clear, this decline started in 2016. Before 2016, our country has always scored above 90 out of 100 in the freedom and democracy metrics. But now we sit at 81 out of 100, and we are on a downward spiral. So way to go, America. Under Donald Trump, we are legitimately and destructively a nation in decline.
President Trump said...
What now? What did he say?
President Trump said the United States invented everything.
I can't. He's so egotistical. He's so unhinged.
Oh my God, my stomach hurts.
You're not American first. That's what sucks about you guys.
I'm America first.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
If you're America first,
I actually uphold the values of this country, like our Constitution, our rule of law, our democracy, separation of church and state.
Doesn't matter. We can have the worst president in the world. I will still protect my president. It doesn't matter at all costs.
Tell me 4 fundamental American values that you think Donald Trump does not undermine at all.
It doesn't matter. The whole point of this conversation was to say that you guys have your position right now because
just name me 2. Can you name me 2 American values, fundamental American values that Donald Trump does not undermine?
Yeah, you and Dean having a job making money, you idiot.
Still not hearing a fundamental American value that Donald Trump is not undermining.
The only reason why you have anything right now is because of Trump. I thank all liberals for being so stupid and putting him in office.
By the way, says the one who got conned into voting for Trump, who actively didn't do anything to actually support you in your interests.
After assembling the most powerful army in the world, failing to win a war against a middle power, causing oil and gas prices to skyrocket, and delivering incoherent speeches, the golfer from Mar-a-Lago shamelessly admits to being stunned by the Iranian response, which was entirely predictable, and now calls for help from his allies whom he was insulting just yesterday. And they reply to him, "You didn't consult anyone, you have no plan, and we have no reason to follow you blindly into the fog." Trump, the only elephant in the world who walks around with his own china shop, now has no choice but between 2 equally bad options. To withdraw shamefully, pretending, without convincing anyone, that he has achieved his objectives, or to trigger an escalation with results that have been known in advance since Vietnam, Iraq, or Afghanistan. A quagmire, and in the end, a disgraceful departure, leaving the field open at the time to the communists, to Daesh, or to the Taliban.
U.S. News won't show you this, but I will. For the first time ever, more countries around the world viewed the U.S. negatively than positively. Want to guess why? The 2025 Democracy Perception Index surveyed over 110,000 people in 100 different countries, and the results are not great for the U.S. America's global image has collapsed. In fact, even China is viewed more positively than the United States around the world. The U.S. dropped from 22% approval rating last year to negative 5% this year. According to this index, Donald Trump is the least liked public figure. Only 27% of the people polled view him positively, even ranking below Vladimir Putin. And when asked why, former NATO Security General said, "It's no surprise that opinions have slipped, even among people like me who have spent their lives admiring the United States and what it stood for." He then went on to say that America's credibility is collapsing, and the reason is Donald Trump. He cited Trump's trade wars, bullying allies, engaging in, quote, chaotic diplomacy. And he's right. Sadly, the U.S. is no longer the democratic model to follow. What do you guys think?
For me, the realization that the American image had collapsed came in 2018. I'm an American, but I moved to France in 2018. And I had a very rude awakening when I realized that the rest of the world did not see America anymore the way that I was raised to believe that they saw America. You have to understand the way I was raised, the way most Americans are raised. We see American flags everywhere. We believe wholeheartedly that America is very well respected internationally. And when I moved abroad, I would speak to people and introduce myself as an American. And one of the first things that they would ask me is how I felt about the downfall of America. Most of the time they would ask this specifically about the election of Trump. And they would frame it kind of in a way that they felt like it was more or less the beginning of the end, or even the final nail in the coffin. And to me, don't get me wrong, I knew that Trump's election was bad. I knew that that was a big deal for my country, but I never really considered how it would be viewed internationally. There are many, many, many factors that go into the deteriorating American public image worldwide, between the military-industrial complex, the overuse of firearms in the US, the political turmoil that's been brewing for quite some time now, and a dozen other factors. Yeah, it's no surprise that other countries have picked up on it.
A country's reputation is very important. Military strength and economic power are important, but respect, trust, and diplomacy shape how the rest of the world sees a nation.
They are laughing at us. They are killing innocent people. They are sending our sons and daughters to die for nothing, and they are laughing at us. Watch this clip.
Where do you think things stand right now in terms of the war with Iran?
Boy, that's a multi-thousand-year-old question.
Yeah. I want those laughs played on a loop when these people are held to account if they have committed war crimes, and we can prove it in a tribunal, in a court, which I believe we can. Look at the absolute arrogance and stupidity of the United States representative. This man is in Congress, asked literally about the war. It's 1,000 years. The United States has only been around 250 years. We've been at war for 5 months. No, it's not thousands of years. United States soldiers haven't been dying for thousands of years in Iran. We haven't been depleting our munitions stockpile for thousands of years. Iranian school children haven't been bombed for thousands of years. The absolute arrogance and stupidity of that kind of sentiment and laughing at us is how little they think of the American public. It is time to take back our country.
The United States of America this morning is rapidly losing respect on the world stage as the President of the United States has become an accelerating lame duck, with world leaders now openly defying him. He, after negotiating this quote-unquote deal with Iran, is saying now it may not actually be the final deal with Iran. World leaders view the President of the United States as weak and embattled after he brought the United States into this war with Iran and left weaker militarily, weaker economically, and weaker just generally in terms of relationships with other nations across the world. And now world leaders see Donald Trump, the President of the United States, as a weak and lame duck American president. And while that does not spell good news for America heading into the last 2 years of his term, the president is getting older, he is weaker, and soon he is going to be a lot more irrelevant. We'll see how soon that happens. Spread the word.
Many of you know me from my series on how the rest of the world views the US. So I've taken some time over the past few months to learn more about how Donald Trump being in office for a second time actually affects the rest of the world. Because as many people are aware, Donald Trump does not just affect us here in the US. The rest of the world has treated this like a natural disaster. As Canada has referred to it, it's like watching your neighbor burn their own house down. And many countries around the world have let us know that we are on our own. And for those of you who did not read the Project 2025 playbook before he was elected, let me tell you, it is here and it's in full force. Trump's policies continue to affect the rest of the world. The tariff policies alone have caused global chaos. We are all feeling the effects of a second Trump term.
For all the people out there that like to say that America is the greatest country in the world, I genuinely don't think you understand how bad it is here. I have to convince my foreign friends that the laws, they think that they'll send me a screenshot of a law that we have and think it's a joke, like loitering. They're like, this is fake, right? No. Oh, no. No, stand around in front of a store for too long with no purpose or direction, and you can get a ticket, potentially go to jail for it. Yeah, that's a real thing. A very real thing. Just like being homeless can get you landed in fucking jail. Yeah, God forbid something happened to you. You know, you're fucking lose your job. Something happens, right? You lose your fucking home. You end up sleeping on the street. In a lot of cities in the United States, your ass will get carted to jail for that. Yeah. The people from other countries don't understand that. They don't believe it. They don't believe me when I tell them. But yeah, America's the greatest country ever. We don't even have health care, yo. Shut the fuck up. Shut up and travel.
America's relationship with long-term allies have become strained. Allies that have worked with the US for decades expect cooperation, consultation, and mutual respect. You see, when disagreements are handled through public insults, threats, or even aggressive rhetoric, those relationships may become very difficult. International partnerships are often built on trust, and once trust is broken, rebuilding it is very difficult. So when Trump talks of annexing Canada, invading Greenland, those comments, they drew criticism internationally. It damaged confidence among allies who value their sovereignty. The language used by political leaders do matter a lot, because presidents do not just speak to their own countries, they speak to the entire world. And every speech, every interview, and every social media post is being watched by governments, businesses, investors, and ordinary people across the world. So the tone a leader sets can influence how a country is being perceived. Another thing is Trump's immigration enforcement. Every country has a right to enforce its immigration laws and protect its borders, but ICE has been treating immigrants very harshly and in dehumanizing manner. The images of detention facilities, families being separated, children crying, and the raids, they have been circulating globally, and they share public opinion outside the US regardless of party affiliation. Foreign policy also have consequences. Trump going into war with Iran has created energy prices instability, and now families across the world are feeling the effects of high gas prices and fuel prices through transportation costs, expensive food, and increased living expenses. So every presidency leaves a mark, and the future leaders are going to inherit a task of rebuilding the ruined relationship. Respect is very difficult to earn, but very easy to lose. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.